Hello and welcome. This is Africa in 10 minutes, where we bring to you trending business news from around the continent this week, courtesy Footprint to Africa. My name is Mike Messikeno, and it's great to have you on the show. Let's take a look at the highlights for this week. And in Nigeria, FBN Holdings grows full-year profit after tax by 179% to 48 billion naira. Zimbabwe may launch a 350 billion shilling sovereign bond issue post-election. Nigeria seeks more investment in power distribution sub-sector. And South Africa's Vantage buys 800 million shilling stake in Kenya Mall. Diamond Bank divests fully from UK subsidiary. And in Nigeria, telecom sector's contribution to GDP hits 10%. In Ghana, match producer price inflation reduces to 3.7%. And now the news. FBN Holdings PLC Wednesday announced its results for the full year ended 31st of December 2017, showing a growth of 179% in profit after tax to 47.8 billion, up from 17.1 billion in 2016. In the audited results, FBN Holdings PLC ended the year with gross earnings of 595.4 billion naira, up marginally by 2.3% from 581.8 billion in 2016. Net interest income rose by 15.9% from 405.3 billion naira to 331.5 billion naira, while non-interest income fell by 31% from 165.5 billion to 113.7 billion. Impairment charges for credit losses also dropped by 33.5% to 150.4 billion from 226 billion in 2016. Zimbabwe is considering issuing between $2.5 and $3.5 billion, which is about 350 billion shillings, in sovereign bonds after elections set for July, and will use some of the money to clear arrears to foreign lenders, Deputy Finance Minister Terence Mukupe said on Tuesday. Mukupe, whose comments were broadcast on state television, said the Southern African nation would use export receipts from tobacco, gold and horticulture to repay the bond. The position that we have is that post-election we should be able to put in place a sovereign or export-related bond, and we think we should be able to raise between 2.5 to 3.5 billion dollars, Mukupe said. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has said that for power to be adequately enjoyed by end users in the country, a lot of investment must be carried out on the various distribution networks. He made this assertion during the commissioning of a 60 MVA 132-33 kV transformer in Uyo Transmission Substation at Afaha Ube in Akwa Ibom State. According to him, if a significant attention is not given to distribution networks, the efforts of a transmission company of Nigeria at increasing the capacity of a power supply will not be achieved. South African Vantage Capital on Wednesday bought an 800 million shilling stake in Roslyn Riviera shopping mall that sits on about 4.5 acres. Vantage Capital Associate Partner Okome Mogoba said his firm was attracted to the mall due to its location in an affluent suburb and high-end tenants that gave it the right characteristics for an investment. It is located in a prime affluent area in Nairobi at Roslyn and near Runda, while enjoying direct access to a major highway, giving its tenants Chandarana Supermarket, Java House News Cafe and Nairobi Hospital, among others, excellent visibility, he said. Thar Limited Director Chief Executive Peter Gati welcomed the investment, saying as developers, the partnership with Vantage Capital raises the stature of the investment. Diamond Bank PLC has signed a share sale and purchases agreement with a member of the GFG Alliance for the disposal of its entire shareholding in its international subsidiary. Now, the disposal was in line with the bank's objective of streamlining its operations to focus resources on the significant opportunities in the Nigerian retail banking market. The transaction followed the bank's divestment from its West African business, Diamond Bank SA, which was completed in November 2017. A statement posted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange website explained that the bank and GFG Alliance were committed to and are pursuing a quick completion of a transaction subject to the approval of the Financial Conduct Authority and Prudential Regulation Authority, who regulate banking business in the United Kingdom. And now, a contribution of Nigeria's telecommunications sector to the country's gross domestic product has hit 10%. This was disclosed by the Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC), Professor Umar Danbatta, at an interaction with journalists in Lagos. Danbatta disclosed that telecommunications have made a significant impact in transforming the Nigerian economy. According to him, figures published by the National Bureau of Statistics in the first quarter of 2017 showed that it contributed 1.45 trillion to the GDP. In the second quarter, the figure rose to about 1.549 trillion naira. This performance at a period of recession is very remarkable. We are keeping dates with the NBS to identify and track how these trends progress. On the aggregate, the telecoms industry's contribution to GDP in Nigeria stands at 10%, he said. Ghana's producer price inflation for the month of March 2018 has dropped to 3.7%, the third consecutive reduction this year. The PPI, which measures the average change over time in general prices received by domestic producers for the production of goods and or provision of services, went down by 1.8% from the 5.5% recorded in February. Anthony Amuzu, a deputy government statistician, said the reduction was as a result of huge reduction in the inflation rate of prices of petroleum products within the period. And on that note, we draw the curtains on this week's episode of Africa in 10 minutes. Let's take a recap of the stories. And in Nigeria, FBN Holdings grows full-year profit after tax by 179% to 48 billion naira. Zimbabwe may launch a 350 billion shilling sovereign bond issue post-election. Nigeria seeks more investment in power distribution sub-sector. And South Africa's Vantage buys 800 million shilling stake in Kenya Mall. Diamond Bank divests fully from UK subsidiary. And in Nigeria, telecom sector's contribution to GDP hits 10%. In Ghana, March producer price inflation reduces to 3.7%. You can send in questions, make comments, and keep up with the news on our various social media channels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and connect with us on LinkedIn. Visit www.footprints2africa, where these stories were called from.